Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All, the show where I talk about a lot of different stuff. Let me just tell you. Um, but this is particularly absurd and obscene. Obviously, we know at this point that in Portland, the police there, they're not normal people. They're not empathetic, rational, social creatures. They're just weapons of war that have been basically abandoning all of their humanity in favor of inflicting military grade oppression on their own citizens. But one of the things that often occurs is there are a lot of legal observers at protests. And when someone gets detained, usually illegally, they will give their name to the legal observers, which will then give their name to the legal team that they are involved with, and will then try to help get them released. That is what bail funds are for and a lot of other stuff. So watch these cops prevent this person, or at least try to prevent this person from giving their name.
Help me! What's your name? Help me! My name is Ian Harrington! My name is Ian Harrington!
Now again, like,
let me go! That's a piece of fucking shit!
where's the Fifth Amendment, man? Where's due process? It's like, this is what's so bizarre about this. It's like, it's just like, the idea that these people are willing to do these kinds of things. Now, again, it looks like they let him out at the end there, but the idea that these people are willing to do this kind of stuff, like, this has been something that we've seen all over the country. Are people, like cops putting their hands on people's mouths as they're trying to identify themselves. We saw it when the feds were snapping up and snatching up protesters in Portland last month. We saw this in New York. We saw this in LA. We saw this all over the country. And these people are not following the Constitution. So when people say law and order, law and order, law and order, look at me, I'm a strong man. I say law and I said order. Yeah! Like, what law and what order? Because it's certainly not American law or American order. It's certainly not the American Constitution. But again, what happens when a tyrannical government oversteps its power? At least in American history, what happens? Well, we have one good example of patriots, not loyalists. We're not talking about the cringy Trump supporters. We're talking about actual patriots. The actual don't tread on me people. Reminder, burning down a police station in Minneapolis, that's what don't tread on me actually looks like, okay? We have people willing to fight this government. And guess what? They did it in 1776. We can do it again. So this is the thing. If the governing forces, if they choose to not follow the laws and the orders that are in the Constitution of the United States. Look at the Obama administration's expansion of the surveillance state, which violates almost every amendment in the Constitution, every clause, everything. It's just like, right to fucking, unreasonable search and seizure, that kind of stuff, like, cruel and unusual punishment, those are just violated, null and void from the Bush and Obama and Trump administrations. Those are gone, right? Now we are losing our First Amendment. We cannot speak without fear of police shooting us, grappling us, breaking our bones, shooting us in the face, killing us. There are so many examples of police killing protesters. It's for a free country, yet you've got protests in every other country, right? And they're fine. Like some, countries are a little bit more authoritarian, like Belarus, for example, which is killing their civilians by the police. But we are seeing global uprisings, and it's certainly very interesting to see how the police treat civilians in places like the UK versus France versus Belarus versus the United States versus Hong Kong. There's a lot of similarities, there's a lot of parallels. But one thing that you will see from Americans is it's good everywhere else, but it's bad here. Because these people call themselves patriots. Like, what? Like, Like, again, these same people that are against statues being taken down, if they were in 1776, or the 1770s in general, remember, the Patriot Army tore down statues of King George, melted them down into bullets, and shot the cops with them. And yet, these same people that call themselves patriots right now would call them Antifa terrorists because they're boring, they're dumb, they're dullards, they don't have an actual brain, they don't know how to think. So when they see injustices like this, their brain just goes, law, order, law, order. But those words don't mean anything because, again, whose law and whose order? Because it's certainly not the United States of America's. So I just wanted to throw this out here because I thought it was really important. This is the kind of stuff that they're doing. So be aware, be safe, be vigilant. Thank you. Y'all have a good one.